YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about owner Daniel Snyder's Potomac, Maryland house being listed for sale, and also the Washington Commanders being interested in Eagles quarterback coach Brian Johnson. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you have it already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got some news today. Per Nikki Giavala today on Twitter, she had some things to say regarding Daniel Snyder. So, there was a tweet put out by Nikki Giavala that says this: Dan and Tanya Snyder's named river house spans just over 15 acres fronting the Potomac River and featuring a 30,000 square foot home. Completed in 2004, it is hitting the market or hitting the listing sites for what could be a record-setting price of $49 million. So actually, the tweet was by Washington Business Journal, and Nikki Giavala retweeted that. So that is some big news, because that means that, hey, this selling could definitely be true, and this is a little bit of dare I say, not confirmation, but good feeling for a guy like me that is still kind of skeptical that like Daniel Snyder could be pulling one on us and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not selling this team. Yeah, I thought I was. I did have some thinking about it, but I'm not going to do it anymore. And he very well could still be doing that. But getting some news today that he is selling his house, or at least is on the listing for $49 million, is that some confirmation? Would that make you guys feel like, yeah, he's selling? It definitely has that feel to it. I mean, especially with all the news about him, teaming up with or hiring Bank of America to find, some suitors or whatever, or the bidding that's going on, and all this thing about him wanting $6 billion, and Jeff Bezos and Jay-Z and all the guys that pulled out, and like I said, the first round of bidders. So it may be legit. Again, I'm still a little skeptical because I feel like Dan Snyder could be pulling a fast one on us, but hopefully not, man. And hopefully he is selling the team, and this is a good sign that he may be. $49 million. That's nearly half $100 million for a house, which, granted, it is beautiful. It is a gorgeous house, man. And I just want to know who has the money to buy something like that. You know what I'm saying? But Dan Snyder is definitely possibly selling, or like definitely selling his house, and not surprised. I mean, didn't he put like his homes, like his home area, as England, something like that? So not surprised that he's selling it. It's just more so maybe confirmation that, yeah, this guy really could be selling. You know what? While we're at it, we should probably go ahead and try to read the article that was attached to it. Let me go ahead and try to find that here quickly. It was on Nikki Giavala's Twitter where I saw it, and we could probably just read the article for itself. Obviously, the highlighted part of it is that the house is hitting the market. But let's read the article that was written by BZ journalist. So it says the 15-acre Maryland property. This has been privately offered for several years. The Snyders purchased the home in Virginia in 2021. Now it goes on to continue to say, I think that may be it. That may be it. That's what I'm looking at. Maybe it. So, all right, that's it. I thought it was a longer article, but I guess not. So the Snyders, they are selling their house in Maryland, and now could it be for Virginia too? I mean, could it be to move to Virginia? Maybe. Or if we get some news that, all right, Snyder's Virginia house is now getting sold too, then it's like, oh, this thing really happening then now, because you go from the Maryland house being up there for selling, and then now the Virginia house, because they just said they moved to Virginia, or they bought a house in Virginia in 2021. That could be like, oh, shoot, maybe let's just move to Virginia and be closer to team headquarters. Or it could be like, if we're selling the Virginia house, then I'll probably come over here and feel more comfortable than I am now. But again, take it for what it's worth. Let me know what you guys think about it. Dan Snyder's Potomac, Maryland house is being sold for a record-breaking $49 million. Could that mean the sale is actually happening, or is it just something that he's doing? Let me know what you guys think about it. Now let's move over to the next topic. So, quarterback Brian Johnson, Eagles quarterback Brian Johnson, has had some teams interested in him, and amongst those teams is the Washington Commanders. Now, they're interested in him to become their new offensive coordinator. And honestly, I would not mind it. I don't know much about Brian Johnson, not at all. However, um, if he for the season that he had for Jalen Hurts with Jalen Hurts, and he was a reason behind it, I definitely would not mind having. Okay, he's 35 years old, so he's amongst the younger coaching group. Okay, and he is again, like I said, a big reason as to why Jalen Hurts had the success that he's had this year. He went to Utah. He's an undrafted into the 2009 draft. He was the quarterbacks coach at Utah. Then he was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Utah from 2012 to 2013. Then he was the quarterbacks coach at Mississippi State. And then he was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Houston. And then he was a quarterbacks coach at Florida from 2018 to 2019, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in 2020, and then been the Eagles quarterback coach from 2021 to present. Now, here's the thing with that. The Eagles' current offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, is getting head coaching interest. Okay, I believe a team like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Indianapolis or Arizona has hired a coach yet. He could be a fit for them there. So he's getting some interest in head coaching candidates or head coaching positions. So with that being said, Brian Johnson may be the next guy in line for the offensive coordinator job there in Philly. Nick Sirianni could be trying to start his own tree, that Andy Reid has, and countless other coaches has. He probably wants to start his own tree. And he could be looking to, like I said, move Brian Johnson up to offensive coordinator if Shane Steichen actually gets a head coaching gig. And I'm not ruling us out of the mix, but think that, especially if they win a Super Bowl this Sunday, I would think that Brian Johnson would want to, just take a step up and become an offensive coordinator, because you're already familiar with the team, you're already familiar with the quarterbacks, and just becoming an offensive coordinator is a seamless and flawless and smooth transition for the Eagles. So as much as I would definitely like this move for us, I don't know if it's going to happen, just because, again, if Shane Steichen actually gets hired as a head coach who did a phenomenal job with that offense this year, then I would expect Brian Johnson to just move up as their offensive coordinator. Now, I could be wrong, and Shane Steichen could not get an offensive head coaching job, and if that's not the case and he stays in Philly, then I think the Brian Johnson news is going to be true. Now, it's all about what Shane Steichen. Again, there's been talks that he's getting a head coaching interest, and I think it's from teams like Arizona and Indianapolis, and I believe those are the only two teams that have not hired a head coach yet. Let me actually look that up. I don't think the Colts has hired a head coach yet. Actually, I think they did. Let me just double check if they did or did not. So no, they have. They still have not hired a head coach. So yeah, Shane Steichen could be definitely in the mix for that. So again, it all depends on what he's going to do. If he is going to stay in Philly, Shane Steichen, then I can see quarterbacks coach Brian Johnson moving on to Washington or some other team that's interested in him. But if Shane Steichen becomes head coach, then I just see the Eagles giving Brian Johnson the job, and I don't see no way he turns that down. So again, it depends on what he does. Eric Bieniemy is still my favorite, and again, I don't really necessarily have a favorite because I haven't done my homework on what these guys' schemes are. I just want a guy that I know is going to throw the ball and get my playmakers the ball. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dawson, Curtis Samuel, and I believe Eric Bieniemy is going to do that. Antonio Gibson out the backfield, moving them in the slot. I feel like he's going to do that. Get the tight ends involved. So That's why he's my favorite. Not necessarily because he has a scheme that I like or anything like that. Just because I think he's going to get my playmakers involved. Brian Johnson can do the same thing. I mean, shoot, I like Philly's offense this past season. And no, Sam Howell isn't as fast as Jalen Hurts, but he's definitely athletic. So some of the similar things that you did with Hurts, you could possibly do with Sam Howell. So I definitely would not mind Brian Johnson as a hire, but it all depends on what their current offensive coordinator does in Shane Steichen this offseason. So let me know what you guys think about today's video. There you have it. Dan Snyder's Potomac, Maryland house being sold for close to $49 million. And then the Washington Commanders interested in Eagles quarterback coach Brian Johnson for offensive coordinator position. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. As always, it's Greenboy One Guy. You like, comment, subscribe, host to the Washington Commanders. See you guys next time. Peace.
Cost me one time, that's gonna get you pop, get you drop.